Okay. And I request all the participants to please mute yourself. Disturbing others. Please mute yourself. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for us to listen to the resource person. ಇವಾಗ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? ಇನ್ನು ಶೇರ್ ಆಗೋದು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ.
ಮೇಡಮ್ ಹೋಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು PPT ಫುಲ್ ಶೇರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಪೂರ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್.
ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ.
ಇವಾಗ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದೆನಾ? No, it is visible. Time is it? Yes, you are visible now. Now? Now it's visible. Okay. Full screen? Yes. Okay. So, whatever we regularly consume food, usually it contains nutrients and non-nutrients both. So, nutrients basically there are 6 carbohydrates, protein, fat, vitamins and minerals. These 5 they are vital, important for all other activities. Apart from that, water is also considered as a nutrient because our body is made up of 20% of water. So carbohydrates, protein, fat, they are called micronutrients because they are required in a larger quantity and measured in grams. Whereas vitamins, minerals, they are called micronutrients because they are essential and required in a very small quantity, but they are essential for our vital functions. And apart from that, also contains other components like fiber, phytochemicals, antioxidants, and other bioactive components like this turmeric and all. They contain curcumin and other things, which helps in carry out the regulatory activities. So, based on when we consume food, okay, how they function in body, according to that they are classified into four. First one is energy yielding foods. Energy means when we consume them, they provide energy in our body. That is carbohydrate, fats and protein. This carbohydrate, fat and proteins, they have an interrelationship because they provide energy. So 1 gram of carbohydrate and proteins, they provide 4 calories, whereas 1 gram of fat provides 9 kilocalories of energy. Usually we can find this in cereals, spices, nuts, oilseeds and root tubers. And next is the this. If you see the, as I said, there is a interrelationship. So fats, they provide 9 kilocalories, whereas carbohydrate and proteins 4 kilocalories. So while choosing the fats for energy purpose, we have to be very careful. Imbalance in intake of this fat for energy purpose, it should be just 20% from our diet. Major should be from carbohydrate. Next is the protein. So that's why the proper intake of fat, protein and carbohydrate in a proportion is very important. So next comes the foods which are rich in protein. They are involved, mainly milk, egg, meat, fish and all. They are called bodybuilding because a body needs protein for growth and wear and tear of body tissues. After skin anti-minerals, for that protein is essential. Later it needs for the maintenance because every day our body will be having wear and tear. These tissues, new tissues and it will be affected. For that, it is needed for hormones, vitamins, enzymes, hormones, so because they have related functions in body, that is all the vital functions, that is
theory started
all these vital organ functions, they need vitamins and protein. So,
ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರೋದು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ
ತೋರಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಏನದು
ನಾನು ಈಗ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನಾಗರಾಜು ಸರ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್.
ಈಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ 3 hours ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹಾಕಿ ನೀವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. BCA ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ 4 to 7 ಅಂತ
Here, the food contains the phytochemical and antioxidant rich foods which are required for preventing degenerative diseases like cancer, heart disease, diabetes and all. So here the mainly food involves whole grains, not a refined one. Whole grains, soya bean, green leafy vegetable and dark colored fruits and vegetables. This vitamin A, beta carotenoids which have got antioxidant and spices, especially all these spices like turmeric, then all other onion, garlic, they have got their respective antioxidant and other phytochemicals which helps in overcoming the lifestyle disorder. So all these foods, when we take up in a required amount, it is going to be balanced diet. So any healthy diet which can improve and maintain health is it should have a good nutritious food from all 4 categories. So which helps to have a good health and also mental and physical health. So while planning any balanced diet, we should see that food should be taken from all because all food will not contain all nutrients. We have to be very clever in choosing the food which have the needs because everything need based on the needs and other things. So that's why, but while choosing food, we have to choose food taken from each group. Then cereals and pulses should be taken in adequate amount, and they should be whole grain. So that we get all the vitamins and minerals which are in the outer husk of the grains. Fruits and vegetables can be taken liberally. Earlier we used to say apple a day keeps doctor away, but now the recommendation is at least we have to take 2 servings of fruits and vegetables should be taken in a very large quantity. So it is around 300 grams per day. So animal food should be taken in a very moderate amount because they have other hazardous effect on the body because contains lot of cholesterol and other things. So oils and sugars should be taken in a very small quantity sparingly because they are refined one, they provide lot of sugars, they provide energy, even oil also. So oil should be taken good quality so that it provides omega-3 and omega-6 which are good for the heart of a person. So the balanced diet, what we take, you can see from picture, it shows that half of plate. Okay, so if you consider plate, so half of our plate should have more fruits and vegetables so that it provides the vital nutrients, that is especially vitamins and minerals required for the body. And cereals, then small quantity of fats and other things, that is 27 grams fats and oils, and 240 grams of cereals and pulses. Then eggs and flesh foods can be taken 90 grams, and fruits 150 grams, and vegetables 350 grams. So this is the plate which is recommended by the NI. Okay, so now as we know, got to know the basic about the food. So imbalance in the intake of nutrients, especially energy, and person is not having a sedentary lifestyle, that may end up in the lifestyle disorder. So energy output, that is exercise, which will lead to excess accumulation of fat in the different parts of the body, which leads to the problem of overweight and obesity. So this may increase the prevalence of obesity. So nowadays we can see, especially youngsters, so children and young adults, they are having a large quantity of junk food, which is, and with a sedentary lifestyle, they are ending up with the overweight and obesity. So about 30 to 50% of Indian adults are also either overweight or obese. Overweight and obese individuals, they are at risk of developing lifestyle disorders like cancer, diabetes, then fatty liver, even high blood pressure, okay, then gallstones and arthritis, hypertension, and also other cardiovascular diseases. Which and apart from that, nowadays psychosocial problems are also seen because of the imbalance intake of nutrients. So this is more common. This is seen in the young generation. So other nutrients which are required below or in excess can lead to malnutrition. So severe undernutrition means here less intake of required nutrients, and which especially we can see this severe undernutrition in the developing countries. Undernutrition even we can see in India, especially with regard to micronutrients in all ages. Okay, so children, they suffer from the effect of starvation, where the sufficient quantity of food is quality and quantity of food is not given to the children. Okay. Then undernutrition among this worldwide, we can see kwashiorkor and marasmus are the most common diseases which are caused due to the lack of energy and protein. So apart from that, fat soluble vitamins, that is vitamin A, D, E, K, are the and also some minerals like calcium, iron, and they can be seen in all the developed countries and developing countries. So water soluble vitamins, they are not stored in our body, we have to take up every day. So if it is not taken appropriately, then the deficiency of these water soluble vitamins, especially B complex and vitamin C, is more commonly seen. But with regard to fat soluble vitamins, they can be stored in our body. So to some extent we can see the deficiency later. So apart from that, another part of it, overnutrition is also rising problem in all the developing countries because of the imbalanced intake. So because of the malnutrition, there is an increase in the requirement of some nutrients at these different ages, and also some restriction in the range of food intake by the person, also leading to malnutrition, and reduction in the available income. So income plays a very important role. Costly foods like sweets, vegetable, milk, and all, extra water, proteins and all, they are not have capacity to purchase for the low income group. So medical condition also plays very important role, because nowadays we can see that lifestyle disorders like diabetes and all, we can find in all ages. So if they are suffering from that, they have to take medications every day. So that also hampers because the nutritional absorption affected. Psychological conditions also play very important role, because when the person will get affected psychologically, depression and other mood swings, other things, it will hamper the absorption of the body. So leads to the then now we can see, especially younger generation are relying on junk food. So junk food is more liked because it tastes very good, and but calories. That this trans fat is most commonly used in junk food. So it is accepted as a slang term, that is, it is a derogatory term used to describe any type of poor nutritional value. Junk means poor nutritional value. It is opposite of a balanced diet, means it doesn't provide a nutrients to the consumer. So junk food offers very little amount of vitamins, proteins, and they are loaded with lot of calories, sugars, salts, and also fat. Apart from that, lot of additives are added. These are very harmful for the long run consumption by the consumer. So most of the food restaurant, they serve food that has got a fast food, because for example, when you visit a restaurant and all, you'll not tolerate if it goes up beyond 15 to 20 minutes. So everything is instantly prepared and kept, and when you enter give order, it will be prepared, just served. So that needs addition of so much of preservatives and also other additives. When taste enhancers and all will be added. So if you consume that in a long run, you end up in the other destruction of the vital organs, leading to lifestyle disorders. So why it is said to be unhealthy? Because it is in high calorie, fat, sodium. And because there's so much of monosodium glutamate, it is a taste enhancer, which is added to the especially fast foods. Then low in fiber, because refined flour is used, that is maida and all. So which will cause the lifestyle disorder like obesity, hypertension, heart diseases, diabetes, cancer, and other lifestyle disorders. Apart from that, it also contains preservatives, and they are low in especially the snacks and all. If you want to have, you have to go for low calorie, but low fat meat food will lead to lifestyle disorder. So, as the interrelationship between between carbohydrate, fat, and protein, especially with regard to energy metabolism. So there is a very close relationship between energy metabolism and physical activity. Means the person doing his regular body movement and other skeletal muscle, and that requires energy expenditure. So physical inactivity means it is identified the person may be sedentary, and he is doing everything in sitting and less physically in sufficient quantity, especially in case of physical inactivity, it will lead to have a increased level of fitness is required. That will person needs to have a more exercise and other thing, so that increases the delivery of oxygen and utilization of oxygen, that leads to efficient use of all macronutrients. So energy metabolism usually affected by our activity level and also degree of fitness. If you see here, activity energy expenditure, so here if you see, only just 10 to 30% of our calorie intake is expended for the regular our works in the body. So thermal effect of food, calories burned through digestion and all. So for our vital activities, regulatory activities, 10% of calories is utilized. If you see other resting metabolic rate, that is what we use for other thing, that is 60 to 70% needs to be utilized. So height, weight, age, gender, fat-free mass, then fat mass, it requires about 60 to 70%. So why energy is important for physical fitness? Because energy is a vital nutrient which is basically required for all body functions. Even though if you are sleeping, it needs, because your vital activities will be going on, breathing, digestion, everything. So daily physical activity need energies, even sports activity, organ functioning, body building, means all the digestion process, catabolism, anabolism will be taking up. Thermic effect of food, when you consume it, digestion process starts, maintaining good nutritional status. So all these are needed. So the needs the energy. So if you see how energy balance or homeostasis is done, so energy balance is nothing but a relationship between energy in the food, that is what we consume, and energy what we give out, that is through exercise or other metabolic other activities, that is called the energy balance equation. So what we calories intake is more, if you work out less, it becomes a increase in the or more calories. So net decreases when the body energy stores is calories intake is less, more output, then it gives the less energy stores. So if we see here how energy balance is done, so energy intake, that is what the food consumes. Okay, so then diet compose, the timing, composition of diet, physical activity, current body weight, all this have the effect. So expenditure involves resting metabolic rate, activities of daily activities. So our behavior, metabolic cost of digestion, all this BMR, BM, all these activities. So all this have the expenditures in the body. So interaction of metabolic, neurological, hormone and physiological factors, apart from that environment, behavioral and lifestyle factors, they have more impact on the energy balance. Even genetics also plays a vital role. So this, if you manage it, then we can prevent the lifestyle disorder. So if you see fat, okay, so when you consume fat, so the if it is excess, it will be converted into adipose fat and stored in the adipose tissue in the body. So at the substational energy reservoir. So fat consume less. Okay, it is cellular metabolism first into triglyceride and used for the other. So that will break down to glycerol and free fatty acid. So usually this fat is used as a fuel for, because it provides 9 kilocalories gram of fat. Body utilizes fat for fuel. It should have sufficient supply of oxygen. That then only demands for the exercise. If exercise is intensive and oxygen quickly, then carbohydrate must be utilized to produce ATP. Then fat will not be utilized. So that will be converted into adipose fat that adds up obesity. So if suppose our diet, if we run out of carbohydrate, means negative balance of carbohydrate in diet, exercise intensity must reduce as the body switches to fat as it's a primary source of fuel. Then coming to carbohydrate utilization in body. So unlike fat, so carbohydrate will not be stored in the peripheral deposits. So only some amount of carbohydrate, it is converted to glycogen and stored in the liver and muscles. So whenever there is a negative balance of energy, this stored muscle glycogen and liver will be converted to ATP and utilized for the energy purpose. Okay, glycogen is used in the form of ATP, and in the liver it will get converted to glucose and transport through muscles via blood for the energy purpose. So if carbohydrate can release energy much more faster compared to fat, because it is directly it converts to glucose to ATP and convert into energy. But fats needs a longer time to convert into energy form. So coming to protein, it is used as source of energy. So prolonged activity needs a protein. So there is a interrelationship between carbohydrate and protein. Carbohydrate has a protein sparing action. Means if a person's diet is lacking in carbohydrate, if there is a protein in the diet, the protein role is majorly, it is bodybuilding. If a lack of carbohydrate, then this protein, instead of doing its own work, it will be utilized for energy purpose. So that's why we have to see that our diet should contain sufficient quantity of carbohydrate to provide especially our energy requirement. Fat protein cannot supply energy at the same rate as the carbohydrate. The rate of energy released from substrate is depending based on the number of factors. So that's why first is carbohydrate utilized, next is the protein, then next is the fat. So that's why we have to see that our diet should contain less quantity of fat. It should be of good quality that will nourish our body. Then coming to protein metabolism, okay, for the energy purpose. So only small amount of protein, which is percent, will be utilized for energy purpose. Otherwise, it will does its own function, because these amino acids, they are the building blocks of protein, which has a role as an intermediates in provide acting as an enzyme, coenzyme, and other blood forming other activities. So that's especially Krebs cycle. So in case of efficiency of carbohydrate, then only see the nitrogen balance, because protein is the. So if you see here, nitrogen which is excreted through our waste body, from the body. So positive nitrogen means what we take up is exceeds its excretion, then it becomes a positive balance. If intake is less, excretion is more, then it leads to negative nitrogen balance. Then if you see how body utilizes energy, okay, when a person does any activity, physical activity, or any exercise, so it will be in two form. So energy will be utilized in two form, that is anaerobic energy system, aerobic energy system. Anaerobic means here in absence of oxygen, energy will be produced. For example, if a person is doing some activities, vigorous activities like gym activities, like all gym activities, their vigorous activity while he is performing, oxygen will for few seconds or few minutes, oxygen will be lacking. That during that period, lactic acid will be produced. That is 2 to 3 minutes. During that process, anaerobic energy system follows. That is here, without oxygen, energy ATP will be produced. So glycolysis occurs. In case of aerobic energy system, that is aerobic exercise, I think you have heard that Zumba and aerobic exercise or walking, all this, skipping, all these are the aerobic exercise where cardio workout will be there. So here oxygen have a more role. So in this system, aerobic exercise or aerobic energy systems, with oxygen, the energy metabolism occurs by, that is the carbohydrate glycolysis. Lipolysis is fat or metabolism or the lipid metabolism. So during this process, this is how energy will be released and utilized by the body in both anaerobic and aerobic exercises. Then in anaerobic system, ATP will be very high rate, but in the absence of oxygen, but the system operates when the demand of ATP will be very high. So no carbohydrate fat is utilized in case of this creatinine phosphate, because protein will be utilized in this process for the energy released. Then lactic acid system, lactic acid is anaerobic exercise or anaerobic energy metabolism. Here the lactic acid system means during process of anaerobic glycolysis, lactic acid will be released. Here the fuel source is glucose, and it is usable form of carbohydrate in the body by the process glycolysis. So here exercise, if person for 30 to about 2 minutes exercises is done, the carbohydrate will be utilized for the energy purpose. That is glycogen to glucose, which convert to glycogenolysis. Glucose will convert to pyruvate and glycolysis occurs, and lactate and acetyl CoA will be the end product of it. So in case of aerobic energy system, what happens? It requires continuous supply of oxygen, where carbohydrate, fats, and protein are utilized for the as a source of fuel in aerobic process. So here supply of energy for all the low and moderate intense activities like maybe Zumba, dance, or the walking, skipping, all these anaerobic energy system. Aerobic metabolism is a very slow way to resynthesize ATP. So here all involvement of carbohydrate, glucose, glycogen will be in the process of Krebs cycle. It converts into oxidation of glucose will be occur through glycolysis. So this is how our body energy system occurs. Whatever glycogen will be stored, it converts to glucose. Then this will be utilized for energy purpose, where all this energy will be utilized, and it is used for the muscular activities. Other part of it, this glucose will be converted into pyruvic acid in presence of oxygen. Then here the fat and protein activity starts. So suppose if you start working any exercise, first the glucose which is present in the blood start utilizing. Then later after 20 minutes and all, when you feel hot and perspiration starts, so during that period fats and protein starts depleting from the body, and it is utilized for the energy purpose. So this is how it will aerobic energy system works in the activities.
Excuse me, madam. Madam, queries raise ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ hand na. You want to take up the queries in between, or you will take up the questions at the end of the session?
At the end is because it interrupts our discussion. No? So
Okay.
Ask them.
Thank you everyone for the interest. Please keep your questions, or you can write here also. I will take up the questions at the end of the session. Otherwise, you also can unmute yourself at the end of the session and you can ask the questions. ಯಾರು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಬೇಕಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಬರ್ದಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಿ. Okay, madam. Thank you. You can continue.
So in body, any energy metabolism. So physical activity and energy metabolism, it has a very important role. So energy metabolism, it is affected by few factors. So the person, how intensely he does his physical activity, and duration of physical activity, how long he does. Then also apart from that, nutritional factors and body stores, means how much of nutrients it is stored in particular person's body, and other nutritional intakes. So they has a role. Then some of the environmental factors also have the effect on energy metabolism, and also during the process of energy metabolism, hormones has a role. So let us see one by one. So effect of intensity of physical activity. So if you activity at a low intensity, okay, so 92 to 98% of all energy will be stored is the fat form. So carbohydrate, it starts working, and only 2 to 8% of carbohydrate will be utilized for the physical activity. If a person he does work at a moderate intensity, okay, he's maybe some exercises and other thing. So during this process, so all four, that is carbohydrate, proteins, and also that is blood glucose, muscle glycogen, that is stored carbohydrate, fatty acids, and even triglycerides, they will be utilized in the moderate intense activities. At high intensity, if you see here, the if person is involved in high intensity physical activity, with increase in the work intensity, the oxidation of fatty acids starts decreasing. Okay, but utilization of carbohydrate will be more. So that's why those who wants to have a physical activity, moderate intense activities are more preferred rather than the high intensity. So with regard to nutritional factors, if you see, if a carbohydrate rich diet is given for the person before any activity, that body will have a more recharged carbohydrate, that is more stored will be there. So majority of the carbohydrate expenditure will be more if he does any activity, but fat stores will contribute very less in energy expenditure if the person is having more carbohydrate. So that's why if you see nowadays keto diet and all, it is going on, because in keto diets they have the high protein. So if a person is having more carbohydrate and less physical activity, then fat stores increases in the body. Carbohydrate-rich diet, they help to maintain the availability of energy for all normal activities. Along with that, energy requirement for any emergency, means any vigorous activity or other thing, and also during starvation condition, it helps. If carbohydrate is available in good amount to provide energy, it will help, means it will spare protein and fat for muscle development and also fat accumulation, which will change the body composition and also physical fitness of the person. Then role of hormonal factors. So while doing any in body any energy metabolism occurs, the role of hormones are more, that is especially catecholamine, then glucagon, growth hormone, and cortisol. During the process of any physical activity, they will increase because these will help in metabolism of all energy molecules, providing nutrients. So as the intensity and duration of activity increase, but at the same process, secretion of insulin start decreasing. So that's why moderate intensity is better. So the overall hormonal environment, what involves is increased glycogenolysis occurs, glycolysis in liver and muscles increases, increased lipolysis, that is fat metabolism in muscles and adipose tissue also increases, and increased gluconeogenesis, that is glucose synthesis in the liver increases, then increased protein degradation. So means protein also start utilizing for the body activities. Then role of environmental factors in energy metabolism. So the person who was staying in the high altitude, means higher places and all, so the carbohydrate utilization will be more. Then if a effect of heat exposure, means if a increase in the body core temperature, it will result into the increased glycogen utilization by the muscles. So effect of cold temperature, so when we expose to extreme cold temperatures, our body starts shivering, which will result in the heat production just to maintain or adjust our body to the outside climate. So it shows that shivering causes an increase in the hepatic glucose output and increases in the glucose utilization. So to maintain our body temperature to the extreme cold temperature, our body start releasing energy. So that's why during any cold temperature or any rainy season, we feel like having fried foods because this will be high in fat. That will help to have a more energy. Then coming to role of physical activity in the energy. If a person regularly consumes high energy from food and drinks and then do not do any physical activity or less physical activity, then they start to gain body weight because it is not utilized for more intake but less output. So that will leads to conversion of energy into the fat and stored in the body. So they become overweight. So energy intake is high, output less, leads to more fat accumulation in the body. Extra energy from food and drink is stored in the body as a fat, as a adipose tissue, in adipose tissue. So the range in weights which are considered healthy for given height can be calculated based on the this is BMI, body mass index, where weight of a person in kgs, height in meter square. Okay, so this can be calculated and we can have this, that is if the BMI is less than 18.5, then the person is said to be underweight. If BMI is 18.5 to less than 25, then he is said to be normal. If it is 25 or less than 30, he is said to be overweight, and 30 to 40 obese, and over 40 they are said to be very obese. So this is how we can identify the person's obesity. So this is how energy metabolism occurs in our body. But now at present, due to mechanization, modernization, and less sedentary lifestyle, with high
junk food and high calorie intake is causing lot of lifestyle disorders. So first it leads to obesity, that is overweight. Once the person develops obesity or overweight, that may lead up into other metabolic disorders like maybe cancer, diabetes, heart problem, and arthritis. So if you see just a cancer, now it is cancer is rising a lot because of so many factors. Okay, so like maybe person say genetic, even some cancers are genetically occurs, environmental factors, hormone, even infection. It is a complex disease where long time it takes to express it. So early diagnosis, we can overcome the problem. So they can occur when abnormal cells in the body start multiplying and increase rapidly. This abnormal cells will also spread to other part of body and they multiply. So cancer can occur in any part of the body. So most common cancers what we can see in men majorly is lung, prostate and bowel cancer, and most commonly what we can see in women is lung, breast, bowel cancer and uterus. So these are the major what we can see presently. How we can prevent? One is how cancer can be prevented if a person be active, calorie diet, if they foods and drinks should be avoided, and enjoy more whole grains because they contain lot of dietary fiber and also phytochemicals and other things, and vegetables, fruits. They should avoid red meat and other processed meats because processing will add up into other causes the other problems. Don't they should not take up alcohol. Only it should be in a moderate, less intake of salt. Then don't depend on the supplements. And if a woman she's lactating mother, she should feed baby. So nowadays some they are conscious of body beauty, so they don't feed it, so that may end up in the breast cancers and all. So next other problem what can see is the coronary heart disease. It is also most commonly seen nowadays. So now earlier it was a old age problem, now we can see even in the young children also because of the food intake, lifestyle, junk food, all other thing which is causing the problem. So if one blood any means heart attack, it causes by the blood vessels which become blocked with the blood supply in the part of the heart stops activity and it get damaged and causes the heart attack. This heart attack is also caused by the weakening of the blood vessels of the other parts of the body where the blood will be supplying, and also muscle activities and other. So any part of the heart if it gets affected then causes the coronary heart disease. So BMI is plays a very important in that. So factor which increases the coronary heart disease is the we can find more in male compared to female. So because the female have got a estrogen till menopause she's safe, so that will protect the male. Then older as the age advances they are more susceptible for causing this CVD. Then those who have these cigarette smokers, overweight, so weight should be very conscious. Those who are inactive they are more susceptible, and stress is also one of the cause. So we should that stress causes the all metabolic activity will get affected, like may leads to coronary heart disease. So that will even CHD can be seen include when if they have their family history, they should be conscious and they have to modify their lifestyle and dietary intake. Then high blood cholesterol level, high blood, if they have suffering from high BP, they have to be very careful. High intake of saturated fat that contains the trans fat, so it should be avoided. And those who are already diabetic and they are taking up the medications and other things, they should be conscious because they also have the secondary causes of coronary heart diseases. Then is the bone health. So calcium is very important one. Okay, so for the strong bones we need a calcium and also vitamin D. So vitamin D we can have 50% of our requirement every day if we get exposed early in the morning, that's sunlight, before 8 o'clock. That will help in synthesis of vitamin D in our body. But now due to late night sleep and late rising, that we are not getting exposed to vitamin D. We can see also this osteoporosis in children also now. Okay, so osteoporosis means it is a disease where the bones become weak. You know the mechanism of calcium. So calcium every day it get depleted from body around 400 to 450 milligram. So every day if you take up through food or not, it will get depleted. If you don't take up every day from diet, what happens? It will leads to negative balance. So that may end up in the osteoporosis. And during childhood, adolescent, early childhood, calcium and other substances added to the bone. This makes it very stronger. But as age advances, we have to be careful because percent of absorption starts declining as age advances after 30 to 35. So the bone loss occurs. Okay. So they may suffer from the osteoporosis. And in case of women after menopause, they should be conscious because the bone loss will be more in this period. Then strong bones contain lot of calcium and they will be and their strength. So for strong bones, genetics plays very important role. When sex, women are more fragile compared to men. Diet plays very important role because even though if your diet is having a lot of calcium, if there is no vitamin D, they are both interrelated. So they helps in other absorption and all. So exercise, especially weight bearing exercise, they helps in absorption of calcium. Then body hormones, so that's very important. But another factors which will suppress the bone calcium absorption from our bodies, we should not be stressed, and more age advances, percent of absorption will be hindered. Even intake of more caffeine and other things, they will hamper. Consuming lot of calcium, adequate amount of calcium with vitamin D throughout life will help to have a good bone strength and they will be healthy. And another global problem what we can see is the anemia. Anemia is nothing but deficiency of iron, that is mineral iron, which is vital for synthesis of RBCs in the body, that is hemoglobin. So blood forming nutrients like proteins and iron, even vitamin C, these all are interrelated. Proteins, good quality. If they take up in an appropriate balanced diet, then that will help in synthesis of blood. So whatever, especially vegetarians, if they are relying, so especially this iron which is present in vegetarian food, it is in the ferric form. So body needs in a ferrous form. That's we need to be conscious that we have to take up vitamin C that will help to convert ferric to ferrous. That helps in absorption of nutrient. That's why if you see our traditional food, we add up lime juice on all our snacks and other things. That will help in absorption of iron from the body. So non-vegetarians, it will be in a direct ferrous form. So that will have a high absorption. So if iron body store is low, okay, then it will help has a little iron in the diet. Symptoms of iron deficiency, anemia will develop. So particularly we can see in young women, adolescent period, because they have the regular menstrual loss of blood. Along with that, if they don't consume nutritious iron-rich food, then they end up in the anemia. So iron from animal sources is usually good because it is in a ferrous form compared to plant source. So vitamin C, as I said, it helps in converting, helps in absorption of iron because it will be converting ferric to ferrous. So that helps to produce more absorption of iron from the diet. So these are the major problems what we can see related to our lifestyle. So looking into all these problems, WHO, okay, it started the global strategy on diet, physical activity and health in 2004. So they main looking into the death and diseases burden worldwide, especially related to less physical activity, that is lifestyle disorders. So it started in 2004. So the main strategy involves the 4 objectives, that is reducing the risk factor that are causing the chronic diseases like that is metabolic diseases, especially because of a unhealthy diet and less physical activity, which are causing in the public health. So that needs a public health actions. Then another objective is creating awareness and understanding in the public regarding the influence of diet and physical activity on the health and positive impact on preventing the especially lifestyle disorders. Then developing, strengthening and implementing the global regional policies and action plans to improve the diet and increase the physical activity that are sustainable for the overcoming all these lifestyle disorder. So the main objective, other objective is monitoring the science and conducting the research activities on diet and physical activity. These are the major global strategies given by the WHO to overcome the lifestyle disorders. So physical activity as a public health priority, WHO is said regular physical activity is known to improve health of a person, reduces the risk of all these chronic diseases. Physical inactivity, it has a major health effect worldwide, which is having 31% of individuals who are aged below 15, over 15 years, they are physically inactive and causing the problem. So 4 to 5 million deaths are occurring every year, which is due to the physically less active. It is becoming a problem. Of the death, this is mainly due to the physical inactivity. 2.6 million, they are low and middle class income countries, where we can see the problem or death due to the lifestyle disorder. So while physical inactivity is more prevalent, especially in high and middle class income countries, even in a low income countries, it is most commonly seen because of the unhealthy diet and lifestyle. So WHO in 2020, it has given some facts on the physical activity to overcome the lifestyle disorder. So physical activity is good for heart, body and mind. So regularly everyone, they have to have a physical activity to prevent and manage the lifestyle disorder, especially heart disease, type 2 diabetes and cancer, which are the more reason for the death of 3/4 of deaths worldwide. And physical activity can also reduce the symptoms of depression, anxiety, and also it also improves the thinking capacity, learning capacity, and also it increases the overall well-being of a person. So any amount of physical activity is better than nothing. So, and more activity is better, which is the fact given by the WHO. Then all physical activity done by the person, it counts. So physical activity can be done as a part of work or sports activity or leisure activity or walking, other exercises that will overcome the lifestyle disorder. Then muscle strengthening benefit to everyone, especially if you want to age gracefully, especially at the old age period. Older adults should add physical activities, especially young and adult generation. If you want to age gracefully, you should have a healthy diet and more physical activity that will help in aging gracefully. So those who are above 50, 65 and older, the physical activity should emphasize balance and coordination, because neuromotor all activities will start declining because of the muscle strengthening and other things. So they can help to prevent the falls which are causing accidents by falling and other things, fractures. So if they are involved in muscle strengthening activity, they can improve the health. Too much sedentary lifestyle, behavior of a person can be unhealthy. So if you want to have a good behavior, it can increase the risk of heart disease, sedentary lifestyle, cancer, type 2 diabetes. So limiting sedentary time and being physically activity is very good for health, and both mentally and physically. Everyone can be benefited from increasing physical activity and reducing sedentary behavior, including pregnant women and lactating women and the people who are with the chronic illness or the disability. Even they can have the physical activity within their limits. They can have and they can overcome the problem. So, in general, it said that physical activity can improve emotional, bone health, mental, social of a person. What the physical activity has a positive side. So, benefits of physical activity: if a person regularly has a physical activity, he can prevent ill health, reduce the number of people dying prematurely. So, and that can also enhance mental health, quality of life, and self-reported well-being. Means they will not depend on anyone. Delay the need for care in the older adults. That is after 65, as their activity, everything start declining. So they will be depending on this other person. So if you keep yourself very physically active with a very good nutritious food, in adolescence and adult age, then you can gracefully age in the older adult. You can delay your aging, reduce health inequalities, and improve the wider factors which are influencing health and well-being. Physical activity also helps to prevent many major non-communicable diseases, especially children, adolescents now who are physically active. They have a better chance of being aging gracefully. So we have always speak about exercise and fitness. Nowadays, everyone says, "I'm going to gym, I'm going to aerobics," all these things. So what is that? Exercise is nothing but a physical act of training the body in a structured way to improve the component of physical fitness. Physical fitness, it is developed both by continued and multifaceted exercise. So physical fitness is the result of exercise. Means how you exercise, it will give you a body fitness. What is the benefits? So exercise and fitness, it improves the quality of life, quality of sleep, mood and memory, slow down the progression of disease, improves the insulin sensitivity, then improves the heart and lung health, improves range of motion and physical performance, improves sex drive and also appetite, and also it improves the skin glow and also reduces the risk of injury. So just to glance what the physical fitness. So just I'll go very fast. There are 3 types of physical fitness activities. Okay. One is metabolic fitness, means where our body metabolic activity will be there, health related and skill related. So metabolic fitness means here it is also called physiological fitness, because the blood pressure, where the metabolic activity, the heartbeat, everything will be controlled. So blood pressure, it involves the indirect measuring the effectiveness of the heartbeat, adequacy of the blood volume, what amount of blood is volume, pressure and other thing, it will be measured. So normal BP is 120 to 80. So with advancement of age, so now it has enhanced 130 to 190 is also acceptable after 50 years of age. Next is pulse rate. It is the number of throbbing sensation felt over the peripheral artery. So these are the activities where the metabolic fitness can be measured for the person. Even blood insulin. Insulin is also test measure for identifying the metabolic fitness of a person. So normal insulin is 5 to 20 micrograms. While if a person is on fasting, if he has lower than that, is type 1 diabetes. If it is above than 20, then it is the type 2 diabetes. So health related fitness is good health. It means it will have a strong relationship with health related component of a fitness. So usually this health related fitness means it will help for the day person to have a perform his daily activities with a vigorous and also demonstrate the capacities which are associated with pre, which is related with the physical activity. So kinetic diseases means less physical, little physical activity or the exercise. So it is also called as a physiological fitness. So main aim of this is we have to educate the people based on their health and also age and their gender. We have to teach them what type of the fitness exercise can be taken up, and also it will also help for taking up the clinical decision. Means we can, based on if they are having any other diseases and other thing, we can help them to have the how fitness they can be, exercise they can be worked out, and also stratifying the cardiovascular problems. Next, if you see health related fitness, so especially this body composition of person, it plays a very important role. So if person is having more muscle tissue and less fat, then he is healthy. Usually men will have more muscle tissue, that is 45%, women will have 36%. Essential fat will be less in 3% in men, whereas women 12%. Whereas non-essential fat will be 15% in women and 12 in men. Then bone 15% less in women. So that is 12. So other 25%, 25%. So this is how the body composition, it varies. So it is expressed as a relative percent of body mass, that is how much muscle is there, how much fat. So this proportion, it plays a very important role in the fitness of a person. So next is muscular fitness. Here it includes both how the muscles of the body is included, that is muscular endurance and also strength. Here it includes body mass, glucose tolerance, even ability to work different activities. So they take up in muscle function tests. They will be taken up to study the muscular fitness. So they will different types of tests will be taken up regarding the muscular fitness, and even strength of a muscle. So the muscle ability to exert force on the at different high intensity activities in a short period, that will give the strength of a muscle strength of a person. So this different tests are done to identify the muscular strength. Next is cardiorespiratory endurance. So cardio is heart, respiratory like both cardio, lungs and heart activity fitness is related mainly to perform large muscle dynamic moderate to high intensity exercise for a prolonged period. So the performance, it depends mainly on the functional function of our lungs, heart and also skeletal muscles. So majorly here during this endurance, how much volume of oxygen uptake and the release of carbon dioxide, it will be tested. So more volume of oxygen, it shows that a good fitness of both heart and lungs. Then flexibility is also very important. Nowadays we can see a lot of some people, as even in youngsters also we are seeing that because of lifestyle and food habits, flexibility is decreasing. They are not ready to sit down also. So flexibility means it is joint movement. That's movement of a joint through complete range of motions. It carries out at all regular activities in a day. One athletic performance, it gives the flexibility. It mainly depending on the specific variables like the joint capsule, adequate warm-up and muscular viscosity. So here not single activity is taken. Together they will see different activities and certify the flexibility of the body. So here the one sitting and reaching test activity also conducted to know the flexibility, and different instruments are utilized to study the flexibility. Next is skill related fitness. Here also especially sports and other activities where we know skills. So performance related fitness here, it is especially athletes and sports persons. They need the skill related activities which will give the overall fitness of the individual. Here especially involves the balancing coordination, agility, speed, power, and reaction time of a person. So balancing means here the individual how the ability to maintain their line of gravity within the base of support means say standing on single leg and all, they will conduct a different test. Balance is controlled by three different, that is somatosensory, visual, and vestibular system. So different tests are conducted to see the balancing test. Then coordination, that is coordination of both all sensory senses, even as a sight, hearing, when touching, all this performing motor tasks smoothly and accurately, these are tested. Alternate hand wall, toss test, different tests are conducted to know the physical fitness of a person. Agility means rapid whole body movement with a change of velocity or direction in response to stimulus. So usually these fitness activities are conducted in all these sports, this thing, even selections of in polices and all, they where the physical fitness of person have a more importance. Then reaction time means how the person reacted to the particular between the stimulation and beginning of the reaction. So usually it is affected by how the person is attentive and how he has got a cognitive and motor skills. So here it mainly simple reaction means here single stimulus and single predefined response. If how spontaneously he react to the particular activity. So that is how the different tests are conducted to know the fitness. So that was the physical fitness, how it is assessed. Let us see, come to the last one. To get a very healthy physical fitness and have a good health, different dietary guidelines is needed. Eat variety of foods to have a balanced diet. Ensure provision of extra food to withstand the any starvation and other thing, or any if you are doing any fasting and other thing, we need it in case of balanced diet. And if a person is especially women, pregnant women, they need extra care because for to care of infant. Then promote exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months in case of mother. Okay. Then feed home-based semi-solid food should be given for the infants. Then plenty of fruits and vegetables should be taken, and take moderate amount of edible foods. Avoid animal foods. Overeating should be avoided. Exercise regularly. Be physically active. Restrict salt intake. Ensure use of safe and clean foods. Adopt the right pre-cooking process, because nowadays processing, especially we are relying or depending on the processed foods, instant foods, ready to eat food, which are lacking in, because during the preparation of during process of preparation, lot of nutrients will be lost, and to keep that product for longer period, they add lot of additives, especially sugar, salt, even monosodium glutamate, preservatives, these all are added. So if you are relying or depending on more processed food for a longer period, you will end up in the other problems like cancers and other lifestyle disorder. So you have to see that less primary process means less processed food is better. Then drink a lot of water, take beverages in moderation, minimize the use of processed food because they are rich in salt, sugar, fats. Include more micronutrient rich food, which are especially for elderly and all, because they, as the age advances, percent of absorption of nutrients starts declining. If you see RA for food intake, cereals, we have to see that 270, pulses 90, milk per day 300 millimol, vegetables and other green leaf 300, fruits at least 100 you have to take up, nuts and seeds 20, fat 27 grams we have to. Those who are vegetarians, they can. Those who are non-veg, they can go for, alternate for pulses, egg, fish, meat can be taken up. And see that large amount of vegetables may be consumed either in a cooked form or salad form. And see that avoid juices, take fresh fruits, because fresh fruits provide lot of micronutrient, that is vitamin and minerals. Use different varieties of food instead of relying on single food, because all food will not contain all nutrients. We should see that we have to choose different varieties of food so that our body will get different nutrients and also phytonutrients and antioxidants, which will help from so this is the my plate of the day, which is given by the ICMR Hyderabad, which is the premier nutrition research institute in India. It has formulated my plate for the day. So what it says, if you see here, my plate means half of the plate should be vegetables. Okay, my plate it advocates 8 different kinds of food. Okay, from 4 distinct food groups to be consumed in a day by in all individual. One half of the plate should comprise fruits and vegetables, leafy vegetable, roots, tubers, and other vegetables. Quarter plate should be cereals, and the remaining quarter plate should consist of protein food, that is pulses, legumes, egg, meat and meat products, and nuts. And moderate amount of varieties of vegetable oil should be taken up. Then take a glass of milk. Milk products like curds, paneer should be accompany the plate. It is critical to have adequate fruits and vegetable, as well as high quality foods like milk, nuts, eggs, legumes, and fatty fish. Then some useful dietary and lifestyle guidelines for being physically fit. You have to see that micronutrient and phytonutrients. They are available in fruits, vegetable, greens, nuts, and whole grains. So they have to be included in your diet. So that will help to have a metabolic pathway that will help in optimal immune function and also avoid non-communicable diseases. And ensures large serving of fresh fruits and vegetable, at least 450 to 500 grams per person, and they should have whole grains. They can be easily always you have to see that locally available, seasonal, you have to be easily accessible should be taken, so that cost of diet can be reduced. Limit consumption of highly processed food. Avoid fruits and juices and carbonated drinks because they don't provide any nutrients. Okay, these are high in fat, salt, and sugar, but they are lacking in vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients. Meat, poultry, eggs is not risky, but consuming in a small quantity is okay. But wash hygiene and while especially using the animal foods, we have to be very careful because they transmit many diseases. So they have to be hygienically washed. That is handling raw meat and other thing. Then you have to use it and thoroughly cook all animal foods. Then avoid too much fat. You should not consume more than 30 grams per day. More than 2 varieties of oil can be preferred. Don't depend on only one type of oil because some they contain MUFA, PUFA and all. Less salt. You should not go beyond 5 grams. But if you calculate from morning till evening, if your diet, I think it will excess your 25 grams. With that, you add up pickle also. So that adds up a lot of salt which you are having. That is causing hypertension and other kidney problems and all. Less sugar because it is carcinogenic. So with no nutrients, then body weight should be maintained. Okay. Moderate physical activity. You can go for yoga or aerobics exercise, and which will reduce stress and immunity. Keep body hydrated with adequate water intake for good immune response. Then smoking alcohol should be adverse. It will affect your immunity and cause the risk of other infections, and that should be avoided. To conclude, you have to include your diet should include whole grains, fruits, vegetables in diet. Enjoy seasonal food, regional food, traditional food. Stay active, stay positive. Then let Yogesh comfortable. So anything you can raise your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Now the time is open up for participants. If anyone you want to ask questions, you can ask the questions. You can unmute yourself and you can ask the question. If you are unable to unmute, please let me know. I will unmute you and you can ask the questions. Madam, I will take the questions till they will unmute themselves, which are written in the chat box. Netra Rachappa is asking anaerobic and aerobic exercises, which is better to our body?
It depends on the person's achievements. So for us, aerobic is best for normal person. Anaerobic, those who are, I think usually the gym and all, those who wants to build their muscles, and within our this thing, it goes with the person's health status and other thing.
Darpan Youth Academy is asking, as rice and wheat are low in fiber, high in carbohydrate enriched food, is there any item which fills our stomach fully and compensate these two items? As South Indians, our balanced diet will always have rice rich this thing. You know, we consume rice in more.
One thing is those who have a staple food as rice, we can't leave them. So go for whole unpolished one, raw rice, parboiled rice. Then also you can go for nowadays we are recommending black rice, brown rice, and other thing. Apart from that, just shift on to at least one serving. You add up millet in your diet. So millet it adds so much of micronutrients and also dietary fiber, which will help to overcome so many disorders. So that will clear your stomach and it slowly digest. It will give some long gap between two meals. So that can be an edge.
Hello, ma'am. Sorry for disturbing you. Is that okay if I ask the question? I mean, because I have
yes. You can open up your camera also. You can ask the question.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. But I have some defect in my camera. Okay. So ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಪದ್ಮಶ್ರೀ ಅಂತ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಮೂಲತಃ ನಾನು ಹಾಸನದವಳು. ಬಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಮಿಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಇವಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೇನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಹಸಿವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅನ್ನನ ತಿಂದು ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀವಿ. ಮಿಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ನವಣೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಸಾಂಬಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಾನು ಡಯಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ 1 year ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನನ್ಗೆ ಗೆಸ್ಟೇಷನಲ್ ಡಯಾಬಿಟಿಸ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಸೊ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ದೋಸೆ, ಇಡ್ಲಿ, ಚಪಾತಿ ಏನೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅದು ಕಾರ್ಬೋಹೈಡ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ರಿಚ್ ಫುಡ್. ಸೊ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ತಿಂತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ತಿಂತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಓಕೆ. ಬಟ್ ಮೇನ್ ಇಂಗ್ರೀಡಿಯಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಏನಾದ್ರು ತಿನ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನೀಡ್ ಸಮ್ ಫಿಲೆಟ್. ಅದು ಮಿಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಎನಿ ಗುಡ್ ಮಿಲೆಟ್ ವಿಚ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಾಂಪನ್ಸೇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎ ರೈಸ್? ಸಾಂಬಾರ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಸಾರಿ, ಹಾಸನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ನಾನು ಲಂಡನ್.
ಈಗ ಮಿಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಓಕೆ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಆಡ್, ಮಿಲೆಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ನೀವು?
ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಾನು ಮಿಲೆಟ್ ನ ದೋಸೆ, ಇಡ್ಲಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅದರ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಶುಗರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಾನೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ, ರೈಸ್ ತರನು ಬಾಯ್ಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಫುಡ್ ಅಂತ ತಿಂದಂಗ
ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಈಗ ರೈಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ? ಓವರ್ ನೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಓಕೆ, ಐ ನೆವರ್. ನವಣೆ
always any millet, okay, soak for 9 hours, 8 to 9 hours overnight. Soaking and cooking is better. Okay. It increases bioavailability of all nutrients.
Okay. Is there any millet, ma'am, which is very good? I mean, ನವಣೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಇದೆಯಾ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಮಿಲೆಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ತರ?
Hassan is known for ragi, no ma'am?
ರಾಗಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗೆಸ್ಟೇಷನಲ್ ಡಯಾಬಿಟಿಸ್ ಇವಾಗ. ಸೊ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆಂಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ನೌ. ಡಯಾಬಿಟಿಸ್, ಬಟ್ ಐ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರಾಗಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಸೊ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಮೈ ಶುಗರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಿಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆನೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಹಸು ನೀಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈಡ್. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ವಾಟ್ ಟು ಡು.
ಈಗ ನೀವು ನಾ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಯು ಪರ್ಸನಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಾಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಹೌ ಟು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್.
Some procedure before.
Okay. We will share the resource person phone number also. You can message her first, and then you can call her and ask
You can
her.
call me between.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, sure. Basura sir is raising his hands. If he wants to ask questions.
Okay, good afternoon. Tell me.
Ma'am, this is Dr. Surekha M from Government Home Science College, Assam. Thank you, ma'am, for a wonderful and useful and very informative presentation.
Thank
So
you.
I had one question, ma'am. In spite of me being physically active throughout the day, making means doing exercise, walking, dieting, I'm unable to shed my weight, ma'am.
What's your age?
40, ma'am.
Age 40.
40, ma'am. 40.
You have gained recently or how long?
Ma'am, especially after second delivery, and especially in the abdominal area, ma'am, and me restricting all the whites, ma'am, like salt, totally sugar, I'm restricting those. So unable to reduce my weight, ma'am.
What's your lifestyle means? You'll be sitting and working or moving around?
Sitting most of the time, sitting, but I'll be going out and coming, ma'am.
At least you have to walk at least for 1 hour per day.
Yeah, ma'am, I'm doing that, ma'am, regularly.
Then we need to consider all your medications and your activities. Then only we can say, no?
Recently, I had done my all this one, ma'am, blood and lipid profile. But all the reports are normal, ma'am. No such disorders like diabetes or like other.
Usually, pregnancy it adds up abdominal weight. Okay, obviously, during pregnancy, it needs some time to deplete it. No? So, abdominal exercises you can carry out.
Okay, ma'am. Other than this, any other suggestions, ma'am, like food and all?
I think food it doesn't this thing because you are following it, no? So you
Yes,
go
ma'am.
for whole grains, more fiber rich, avoid easily digestible foods. Okay, sugary, high sugar, high fat, high salt. Include your whole grain instead of refined flour and all.
Okay, ma'am.
More vegetable, more fruits.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely, ma'am. I'll follow. Ma'am, can you please share your PPTs, ma'am?
Later I will do. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again, ma'am.
Madam, one question is there from the YouTube viewers who are watching us on the YouTube. As we can accommodate only 100 people in this Google meeting room. They're asking any thumb rule for the balanced diet. I think you have explained
Thumb
that.
rule we do. Only is we have to see that wide variety of food should be taken. You follow your traditional diet. Okay, locally grown, more vegetables, seasonal fruits. Water should be taken. Another one. Ask them to this thing. Contact me personally so that I can help.
Okay, we have shared the Dr. Kashibai Kadgi's number in the chat box. Even we will share it in our WhatsApp group and Telegram group also. You can contact her. Better you message her first and then you can talk her, as she will be busy with her routine works and all. Anyhow, many of them are asking for the PPT. If you send us, we will share in the WhatsApp and Telegram groups. Okay. If anybody wants to ask any questions, we can take up 1 or 2 questions as time is running up. Please, participants.
I think it was more than 1.5 hours.
Yes. I think it's very much clear. Now I will call upon Dr. Sharda Bhatt, today's session president and Principal Government First Grade College, to give her presidential remark on the session. Sharda Bhatt madam, please.
Okay. Good evening, Vijaya Patil madam.
Good evening.
Good evening, Professor Kashi Bai madam.
Thank you.
Good evening to you all, one and all. Home Science Departments of Government First Grade College Ankola and KLE Societies Arts and Commerce College Gadag. They have been organizing these lecture series on various topics since 3 years. In fact, today we had a wonderful talk on nutrition and physical fitness by Dr. Kashi Bai madam, Professor and Head of the Department of Food Science and Nutrition, Agriculture College, Bijapur. Madam, with her vast knowledge and years of experience, I can say, years of experience in this field, has very nicely explained the importance of nutrition food and in our daily life. I personally extend my sincere thanks to Professor Dr. Kashi Bai for sharing her thoughts. And we hope to have her lecture in offline college in future.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am, please.
Thank you.
And we have participants from outside Karnataka, all over the country, and I think outside India also. I hope all the participants have enjoyed this session for the fullest. And the takeaway of this lecture is the essential knowledge for their food habits and lifestyle. And I have taken a golden words from madam. It is, I have written here somewhere. Any activity is better than no activity. I really like this. Do something, do activities. And one more point, as a cook, in fact, as a cook for my family and as a mother, I have taken this. I use minimal of salt or restrict salt to minimal. So we as a cook, I mean, all women can try this because food habits start from our kitchen only. So I think that is a good takeaway from this session. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your wonderful session. And I congratulate the organizers at this juncture, Srimati Vijaya Patil madam and Srimati Veena Tirlapur madam, for consistently organizing these lecture series. Thank you, and thank you, Vanessa.
I thank organizers for giving me opportunity to participate on this lecture.
Thank you, ma'am, for the encouraging words. Okay, we have come for the end of the session. And let me thank everyone. Good evening, everyone. Myself, Vijaya Patil, Assistant Professor of Government First Grade College, Ankola. Lecture series to construct a strong bridge between home science persons, the vast research knowledge of home science and community. I think we have succeeded with that. With journey, we have completed 7 series branches of the home science. As this October is especially known for the celebration of World Food Day on 16, we have selected the topic related to nutrition and physical fitness, which is very common and very important at the same time for the each and every person in the community. On behalf of both the colleges, I take this opportunity to wholeheartedly thank Dr. Kashi Bai Kadgi for giving us a multi-horizon overview on the nutrition for the physical fitness, covering whole lifespan of the human being. Thank you, madam. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. As she is my senior in my college in the University of Agriculture Sciences, Dharwad, Karnataka, I have to thank her in our university style also. Thank you so much, Kashu Didi. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Without the support and guidance of the head of our institution, it's almost impossible to organize such a sessions. On behalf of myself and Professor Veena Tirlapur, I thank today's session president, Dr. Sharda S. Bhatt, Principal Government First Grade College, Ankola, Karnataka. Thank you, madam. I wholeheartedly thank Dr. A.K. Matt, Principal KL Societies, Arts and Commerce College, Gadag, Karnataka. In her absence, she has to attend the DC meeting. It's inevitable for the head of the institutions. Thank you, madam, for your support and guidance. I thank all the teaching and non-teaching staff of the both colleges, their direct and indirect support and help. I think I Kollavi sir for helping us in YouTube streaming for the technical support. And thank you 600 people across the country and outside the country for registering with us and constantly with patiently hearing us. And after the full of Google Meet room, we requested all our participants to follow in the YouTube live streaming. They have came there. There also they have written many such positive responses as we have organized a very well session and very nice presentation and very much Kashibai madam, many of YouTube viewers also have thanked you for the very informative session and very good session, and they have thanked us also. In here also, in the chat box also, many have thanked us for the organizing and thanked you for the wonderful presentation. This support only give us strength to organize such many more knowledgeable sessions, as we are having vast knowledge in home science and many research projects in many areas are going on, and we are having very knowledgeable resource person in our field, and definitely with this love and support from all of you, we will come with another wonderful session in next month, covering another branch of the home science. Thank you one and all. Thank you Kashibai madam again. Thank you Veena Tirlapur for the YouTube streaming and technical things and all. Thank you one and all. Thank you, sir. Okay. Okay, Veena Tirlapur madam has shared the feedback link. You can give your feedback there,
the
and
feedback
we will
link
share
is
feedback.
shared. Okay, the feedback link this one Google Meet message box, as well as in the YouTube also. You can give your valuable feedback, and they all will get the registered through email only. We will send the certificates. Please addition as in the feedback only, and try to give a correct email address so that it can be. Thank you. Thank you all for making the program. I especially thank on behalf of our principal also, Jadgi madam, and also to Sharda Bhatt madam for allowing us offer. Two HODs of Concept Department to run a wonderful program. Thank you very much.